Hello, Joy. I hope you're well. Haven't got much background information from you between lessons, so I'm not quite sure how you're playing or how often you're playing, but I'm guessing you're practicing away quite diligently and as often as you can. So we've got you in swinging mode here, which is always good to see. And I have a few comments. I think certainly your setup, really, really good. A few things I look for. I like to see sort of where the back of your arms join your body. I generally like to see those sort of above, just in behind your toes there. Maybe could go with a little bit more knee flex, but you don't want to exaggerate that too much. Because what will happen is you'll start to lose mobility in your rotation, and that's no good. Love to see the arms hanging directly down from the shoulders. Love to see excellent posture here, your hips in alignment with, your hips here in alignment with your shoulders and your ears. That you get a nice straight line there. Don't worry about that number. That's just the computer doing its thing. So yeah, really, really good, I have to say, from this angle. One of the checkpoints that we've worked on, I do believe, in the past is halfway back. Maybe club getting a little bit outside the hands, wouldn't be so bad if the club was sitting about here, looking directly back sort of towards us. That's the best drawing I can do to explain that. The shaft of the club pointing towards the camera directly. Club's a little bit outside the hands. You'll see in the next few frames the shaft of the club goes up a little bit outside your right forearm. I think if the club was a little bit more in line, it would appear to go up your right forearm, which is a very common trait. It's just a bit of a pattern that coaches like me spot. In the end, the club arrives in a position where it's above the middle of your feet, which is never a bad thing, and your forearms are a very similar distance apart, so that's a good thing as well. Now, mostly really, really good work, I have to say. I think just because we're at the correct angle to do so, we can see pretty decent impact conditions. A bit long in the right arm, though. I'd like to see a little bit more flex in your right arm. And that's always going to be easiest to achieve when you've got good lower body rotation. So just keep working hard on that. Keep working on the idea that you're not just rotating your lower body or moving your legs just for the sake of it. You're trying to impact the ball with the club on the right hand side of your body. And I'll just slip in a couple of examples of that while I'm describing this. When I edit this video, I'm going to put a couple of golfers besides you just to compare notes. So here are some examples, which I can't actually see at the moment, but I'm imagining them in my mind's eye. But as you are seeing them, you can see that most of these powerful and strong players, they have a flexed right arm, and the elbow is quite close to the right hip at impact. So trying to achieve that at the moment of impact is never a terrible idea, but you'll have to report back to me how that feels and how successful you've been doing that. But yeah, I mean, essentially your impact conditions are good. You've got the rotation going on, so that will allow you to sort of stand the correct distance from the ball to be able to still reach it with a more folded right arm, but that folded right arm allows you to apply more force into your shot. Anyway, I'm more interested today actually in the front-on angle, so we're going to skip across to that right now. So here we are, front on, little bit grainy picture. I can see you're using a ball position which is a little bit closer to your lead foot than your back foot, which is fine. And if you can hear my cat in the background, he's upset because I've closed the door. So, but I'm prepared to upset him for you, Joy. Right, so what I think, body shape really good here. I always like to see right shoulder lower than left, right hand lower than left. That makes a lot of sense if we've got arms the same length. Your weight distribution looks pretty even. So everything good here for an iron shot. It's really decent. So don't panic too much here. Anything I would criticise, and I'm going to do a little piece to the camera outside in the garden about this, I think you're probably making too much effort to keep this arm very straight. So I think what happens is it shortens your backswing a little bit. It's not like you lack flexibility completely. We've got pretty good rotation here. We could probably go for a little bit more rotation, but I'm not unhappy with it. I just think that your club could travel a little bit further this way. Excuse me, when I was just trying to draw a curved line there. Your club could travel a little bit further if this arm was a bit softer. And I'll explain in great detail what I mean in just a moment. But I think what it does is it forces you to change direction perhaps a little bit urgently, and it starves your swing of being able to ramp up power in the forward direction. All right, you don't do too badly. I can't really see very clear imagery of your ball fly, so you have to communicate with me a little bit about how how your distance is going. How I imagine your accuracy is not too bad, but if your distance is a little bit underwhelming, then this will be the reason. Anyway, I'm going to move to outside now to explain what I mean. Okay, Joyce, so what you heard me referring to while we were looking at you on video, we'll now look at me, was this basic emphasis. If your left arm gets excessively straight, if you make a real serious point of trying to keep this straight, I think probably a better description of it is keeping your left arm of full length. So you just allow it to go to its full length, almost like you might imagine a piece of rope or a string, if you just, or an empty sleeve, if you imagine. If I just allow that sleeve to work backwards and forwards, that's probably a better representation of what's really truly happening with a left arm during a golf swing. It stays near its full length for the entirety of the backswing, but it won't be stiff and straight. And I'll show you and explain how that will restrict you, limit the length of your backswing, and then cause you difficulty generating energy in the forward swing. So we kind of want to avoid it, really, for two reasons. One being that I've just explained, it will shorten your backswing unnecessarily and cause you problems recruiting your bigger muscles. But also what will happen is it will cut down on rotation in your arm. If you let your arm swing, it will also happily rotate quite freely and naturally. If you stiffen it, there's a risk that you'll keep the rotation and from happening properly, and that it won't allow the club to rotate freely in the forward swing, and that will actually slow it down as well. So on two levels, we're cutting down on some of the power givers. So power giving elements don't always have to feel like gritted teeth and violence and like you're trying to deliver amazing muscle power. Freedom of movement, like for example, if you're knocking in a fence post at the bottom of the garden here, then allowing your wrists to hinge freely is a power giving movement. If you stiffen your arms and try to do this kind of thing, then it will actually restrict you. So we want to avoid that. Now, I'll show you a little exercise, a little drill that you can do. I'll show you this sideways on to begin with. The sun's come out, which is incredible because it's been horrible all day and it's freezing out here, but I'm braving it for you. All right, so we're going to stand sideways on. I'm going to put my left leg back into what I call extension without kicking my bag over. So putting my left leg back into extension there. So from a front on angle, I'm just putting my left leg back and I'm straightening my knee just for the time being. That's not going to be something we're going to do permanently. This is just a little drill or exercise that I'm showing you so we can get the hang of a slightly upgraded backswing. Now, when we put our left leg back into extension like that, it doesn't have to be in the next county, but just back into extension. We take our right hand off the club and just tuck it away behind our back. Then we simply make a backswing. Now, you'll see I haven't got very far in my backswing. I'm trying to make a full backswing here, but I just haven't got very far. Now, if I go front on for you, I'll do the same thing. My left leg goes back, my right arm gets tucked away. I'll make a backswing. If I keep my left arm dead straight, I can get about horizontal. I can get to about here. You can see that yellow stripe on my sweater is about horizontal. If I soften that arm, I can go much further. All right, it will allow me to recruit muscles in my upper body and I can go much further. Now, what I do with that drill, what we're doing by putting the left leg back and taking the right arm off the handle, is we're figuring out exactly how much flexibility you have to deliver to the task. Now, what can happen is you can kind of cheat. You can use your legs to give the appearance that your body has kind of spiraled more or coiled more, but it's not a very powerful form because really all I've done is I've turned my body to the side. I haven't really created any spiral effect. I haven't created any elasticity in my muscles, if you like, and any kind of pent up force in readiness for the forward swing. I've just turned from my feet.
a great idea in the forward swing, because when you're coiled in the backswing, when my shoulders have coiled more than my hips and my hips more than my feet, and I go in this direction, then I can apply tremendous force if I have something like a decent forward swing, which we've talked about a little bit. So I'm still letting you go to work on that. Your forward swing, of course, as I mentioned, is looking really rather good. Your impact conditions are looking excellent, but your backswing looks a little forced and your left arm looks stiff. And that's when it's stiff and straight, you can't get it to go much further. So your only hope to try and generate power in the forward direction is to really change direction quickly. And that's not great for rhythm, and it's not great for feel, and it's probably not ideal. So don't be afraid to let your left arm be a little softer. You can rotate further with your stronger muscles. You can get your back facing the target a little bit more. And that will be a benefit, because we can ramp up your forward swing a lot more evenly and in a lot more of a repeatable and efficient way. We don't want stiff arm trying to keep this straight, shortens the backswing. Then we have to really try and change direction quickly. I don't think that's a great way to go. And I hope you'll discover that you'll agree with me with a little bit of practice at this. But just one more time for effect, that reason I take the right arm off the club and the reason I put the left leg back, I just mentioned about how that stops your legs from getting overactive and giving the illusion that you're making a long enough backswing. So that would be kind of what I would call cheating, to use your legs like that in the backswing. It's not really necessary, and it's not particularly functionally helpful. But on top of that, if you have your right arm on the club and you insist on keeping your left arm straight, your right arm can effectively basically drag your left arm a bit further, and it makes it look like good things are happening, but to be honest, they're really not. So from this angle, if the right arm drags the left arm, the elbows can get separated like this, and you end up trying to solve a problem of a short backswing by using your legs, or by using your right arm to drag your arm across your body. Because I'm keeping this so straight, my upper body can't rotate very far. I look very short in my backswing, and I can invisibly sort of use my right arm to drag my left arm. You can see my body isn't rotating anymore. My left arm's just getting dragged into the backswing, but I'm not really achieving much rotation in my upper body. You can see my shoulders haven't rotated fully. So we want that full rotation. And if this is soft, you can get that. All right, you can see what I'm doing there. So don't be too fussy about keeping this dead straight. I know there will be a long queue of people who will tell you that it's really important to keep your left arm straight. They'll be standing behind me going, "Whoa, you know, you should be keeping your left arm straight." It's like loads of people say it, but they're wrong. They're basically just wrong. Some people are flexible enough with a straight left arm to get more rotation than we can. But if we soften that arm, we can get more rotation, I strongly suspect. I'm not flexible enough to keep my left arm straight all the way to the end of a sort of normal looking backswing. My backswing would look way shorter if I kept my left arm straight. So I highly recommend it to you that you soften that left arm, and I think it will create more success than it will problems by miles, okay? It's going to allow you to do things that you couldn't quite do before and will probably be frustrating you. And all you were doing wrong is following the advice of keeping your left arm straight. So it's not important anymore, all right? Just give this video a good review and do lots of repetitions, keeping that arm soft, put your left leg back, right arm behind you, and just let the body rotate fully. And if this wants to be soft to achieve that, that's fine. As long as it's sort of vertically above your center of gravity, if it's vertically above your heels, that kind of thing, vertically above your ankles, that's fine. You don't want it round here particularly, you don't want it above your head particularly. If you drop the club, it would fall on your shoulder, that kind of thing is fine. All right, I've waffled on long enough for now. And keep practicing. Swing's looking really good in the forward direction, as I've already mentioned. So keep up the good work, and good to see you, sort of, you know what I mean. And yeah, keep the videos coming. If you want to do any short game or other shots, you want to show me some of that, you want to show me drive or anything like that, you know, obviously that's absolutely cool by me. All right. All right, I hope you enjoyed this, Joy, and you know, I hope you get lots of value out of it from watching it back and repeating the content. All right then, see you soon for now. Oh, take care for now. Take care. Bye.